Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is GriefDrums, and welcome to another tips and tricks video. This is going to be on the new buff to Kafe. We're going to break down some of the things that are still in the game and some of the things that have been changed and the new lines of sight that can be created and used to attack and defend both the new bomb sites and the old ones. We're going to break down all sorts of different tips, so hopefully you enjoy this video. Okay, so for the first tip today, this is going to be a belter of a tip. Honestly, this is probably my favorite thing on the entire new map. I'm not even joking. Upstairs in the cigar lounge, the ability to do this and shut those speakers up is an absolute godsend. Seriously, the amount of times I've been up in this room and you can't hear anything over the sound of the music. I'm so glad that they've implemented this feature, and it's just amazing. The only other noise you got to kill in here is the clock itself, but that's easy to do. From here, we're going to go over, we're going to destroy this. Now, this is going to be a line of sight for defending the mining room. This one has been in the map for the entire time it has been here. But by coming over to here and shotgunning open a section of floor, you can do this with Jaeger's AR if you're off roaming, or something along those lines. You can do it with just a few bullets. You don't need much. And then lying down, you don't even need to lie down. I mean, you can do it crouched if you want to, but by coming over to this hole, you will see that there are the two metal cabinets that are actually in the mining room itself. I'll go down there and show you in just a second, but that section just there is the window that leads out onto the balcony. So, by putting bullets down there, you're going to ruin anyone's day that's trying to vault in. This can be really handy, but it's definitely something to consider. If you are trying to hold that room upstairs and you hear that someone's just about to jump in there, you can come down here and you can light this up for anyone that is standing out just on this balcony over here. We all know that a lot of people like to try and contest this. You'll get people holding angles to stop rotations, or certainly in the lower ranks, people will just try and push this because they'll it's straight onto sight. It's nice and easy. But by vaulting in, there's a lot of different ways you're going to have to cover. You've got to be careful of people being in front of you. You've got to be careful of potential mirrors to the side. And now you've got to be careful of this up above. So, as I say, that is an old tip, but it's also a goodie. The other thing you might have noticed that in this mining room itself, the floor is no longer fully, it's not a hard floor. So, the fact that there is destruction there, I'm going to take you downstairs and we're going to showcase another tip that you can utilize for this room. By coming into the bakery, going all the way through, and then into the kitchen. I'm just going to go the long way around just so you can see exactly where I am. We go through the prep room and into the kitchen cooking area itself. Coming all the way over to the north side of it near the wall, you will see that there is that light and another one just there. So it's the first two lights. And in between those, if you shotgun open a section of the floor, you can step back and you can actually see out of that window from here. Now, standing in the middle of the room probably isn't the best bet. So moving slightly over to the left, if you shotgun open that section, again, you can do this with just an AR. You don't need a shotgun. But it's not going to hurt if someone on your team, like a smoke or a mirror, can do this for you at the beginning of the round. Just put a couple of holes in there for you. You can then utilize this cabinet just in front of you to offer a bit of protection. And then as soon as anyone sticks their head up or tries vaulting in, you can take them out and you can ruin their day. Another option is if you go ahead and open up the floor just a little bit further forward. You can do this from a bit further back, but it can be a bit of a nightmare to get the actual angle right. So it's a bit of practice. But by stepping forward as you do it, you can throw a nitro, and as you will have just seen, that went all the way out of the window. Now what I will do is I'll head upstairs and showcase exactly where that has gone just so you can see, and I'll meet you up there in just a minute. So by vaulting out, you will see that the nitro itself has gone to here. That is going to ruin anyone's day, whether they're up close to the window, whether they're further back from the window trying to hold slightly longer angles or just contesting this area. You can really have a good time with this, and it's pretty powerful. What is the point of this thing now? Now that that window's gone and you can't look into the reading room, what are you supposed to be seeing from here? Okay, so one of the next tips we're going to cover, this is something that has changed as part of the new map buff, but it's something that I really like, and it clearly shows the sort of mindset of the devs. Now, this section over here, this ventilation duct, whatever you want to call it, you can actually vault up on top of this like really easily now. Previously in the past, you couldn't. You had to do some sort of crazy jumping onto the little section just here and getting the right angles of stuff. They've clearly just put this into the game to make it really easy because they're down with it. The devs don't mind this at all, and this can allow you to open this window and just get a line of sight up onto what used to be the pixel angle. I don't know if you can actually still use that. We'll go and have a look in just a second. But it gives you a line of sight all the way through to the cigar lounge, so that could be really tasty. What we're going to do is, while we're here, we're going to go and have a look at the pixel angle itself to make sure that it is still there. I don't think it is. I think it's been adjusted. The door to the red hallway has actually been moved further back. So you can't quite hold a pixel angle all the way through there anymore, which is an interesting point because obviously it's just there. I don't know if you're going to be able to destroy this maybe to hold that angle. I don't think you're going to get that, you know. I really don't. I think the pixel angle is well and truly gone. There are other ways you can hold it. You can sit a little bit closer to this, and you can hold a bit of a tighter angle just here. And as soon as anyone comes walking through, you can light them up. And the same goes for this side just over here. With this side of the wall, you can do it onto the new hatch area, just like that. Now, obviously, that's a really wide angle. You can make it as tiny as you want. And the sheer fact that this is wooden, you can sit even further back and get the tiniest little pixel angle. Let me see if I can actually get it right now. It's so much harder on a keyboard, I've got to be honest. Like jumping around all day, but like that, that's a really slither of an angle, isn't it? But that can be really beneficial. As soon as people come in, you can take their head off. And I think I even have a clip of me doing this recently just to sort of showcase it. But that is going to go all the way through to there. As soon as anyone pokes their head around this side to try and contest, it's just going to get taken off, you know?
Cigar behind.
Yeah, over on the new balcony.
Okay.
15 seconds left. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
When it comes to attacking the actual kitchen service area, this is pretty much a very good choke point. Anyone that's trying to come through here, you're going to be able to take them out quite easily from the roof above, presuming you're holding the train. And when it comes to the kitchen cooking area as well, these walls are going to be fairly common ones to try and open, as well as the one that's through in the actual freezer itself, just over here. With all of the roof being breachable and destructible, we're going to go upstairs and we're going to look at a couple of spots that you might want to utilize as a defender, or alternatively, spots you might want to use as an attacker. So very quickly, as we get up here into the train room, or the mining room first, obviously, as we saw earlier, all of this floor is now destructible, and it's going to give you a good line of sight down behind all of the cooking prep area. But through in the train room itself, as a defender, if you open up all of this section to the front, you get a really good line of sight down into the sort of prep bit that we first went through, that choke point I was talking about. That is going to be really handy to sort of lock this down. You're going to be able to hold reasonably tight angles and utilize little bits of cover as well, so as and when people come in, you know, you can use the cover to your advantage to try and protect you a little bit, and it's another angle that they're going to have to try and contend. Through in the mining fireplace hall, you've obviously got the hatch which leads to the freezer, and then you've got the wall down there. So if they are bandit tricking, as an attacker opening up the roof just above that, you're going to be able to deal with that if you haven't got a Maverick. Or alternatively, if you are trying to defend, you can also keep an eye on it from up here. By opening up just a section of floor, you're going to be able to, you know, keep an eye on that main wall, and you've also got an external rotation in the form of jumping out of this way to come up from behind any enemies that may have gone in through this doorway or wall over here. Some of the other areas that I'm quite enjoying opening up are this section just over here where a mirror would normally be. This is going to give you a line of sight down onto that main wall, so anyone that's trying to plant just over, you know, in this sort of an area, you're going to be able to deal with. And with this, you can also utilize the marble to stand on it to allow the attackers to actually push in. So anyone that's trying to rotate in through this doorway or through the main wall, as soon as they come in, they're not going to be able to get a line of sight onto you until it's too late. All just by opening up this section of floor with a shotgun or impact grenades. Now, obviously, if they do disappear over to the far side and you can't quite get an angle on them, there is absolutely nothing stopping you from coming into here, the mining room, and opening up this side to get those better lines of sight. Now, most people would say don't play smoke off sight, and I would normally agree with them, but, you know, being able to play someone like a smoke with a shotgun and the SMG-11, or alternatively a mute could be a very good shout, because you'd be able to lock down this entire area with the mute jammers. But, you know, being able to control all of this from up here could be very effective, especially now that that far window is no longer there. People can't get a line of sight to you all the way through here. When it comes to attacking the kitchen service area, this corner over here is a pretty common spot that people are going to hunker down in when they're trying to defend both the freezer itself and also off into the kitchen prep area. You get a pretty good angle. However, if you come down into the bar just by the front door, you'll notice that the wall above is all open already. Now, I haven't done this, I haven't shot this out, it's already like it, but you will be able to see. What I'll do is I'll move my drone out of the way a little bit so we can actually look into there. But just by pinging a grenade off of the roof and sort of bouncing it down, you're going to get a really tasty grenade up into that corner that is going to take anyone out that is sat there. When it comes to defending the kitchen cooking area, this is probably the first spot on any map that I've ever looked at and gone, you know what? a Tachanka might work quite well there, actually. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and showcase this. Now, by coming forwards towards the prep area and looking towards the west, setting up your deployable shield. Now, the only reason I've done this is because it's elevated higher than this sill just here. It's going to protect the rest of your body. And then setting up the turret just behind it, you get a really good line of sight into that prep area. Now, you've got two options. You can either open that wall completely, or by moving forward and reinforcing it, you funnel them in through this way. And some barbed wire here is definitely going to help you cause. But as they come in, a Tachanka staring them down is going to really ruin their day, and they're going to be quicker than you can say. However, there is another angle that you need to consider, and that is the fact that if you are stood here on this turret and you are trying to light people up through either the double door, or as I've been doing, funneling them in as they come through and just taking them out as they come through the door, your turret can cover certain other areas of the map, but you are quite exposed. By getting a teammate to put a shield down just over here, you can actually create a nice little pixel just over this way. I mean, you don't even need it really. I mean, you can do it just like this with the two door frames. But you'll light up anyone that's trying to come through from the double door over towards the north. Who'd have thought it, eh? A Tachanka tip. Now, this next tip is going to bring us up underneath the new hatch. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be a good place to sit for an extended period of time, but at the beginning of a round, with the addition of Nook or Nook or Nurk or whatever you want to call her, you can guarantee that there's going to be a few rushes here and there. With that in mind, these new stairs are something to consider. You need to be careful of them. And I've been caught out once or twice now, just forgetting that they're there and expecting stairs to be over there. It's going to take me a little while to get used to it. But with these new stairs, you need to kind of find a way to protect them. And sitting up here probably isn't the best bet. But until that hatch is open, you can sort of hover around here. Utilising a shotgun, an SMG, or alternatively just shooting open the floor. I'll showcase what you can do just by shooting it open. You can get a line of sight down onto those stairs, and you can take out anyone that's coming up. Realistically though, if you open this up quite a bit, you can get an even better line of sight down onto the stairs. Oh. Try again. But just to open it up and showcase everything, that is the stairs. And as you can see quite far down those, and you can ruin anyone's day that's trying to rush up them. As soon as you hear that hatch going though, I would personally bail for cover, because you're not going to be able to contest that for much longer. However, you can also play from here. Now, with the hatch being changed, the actual skylight itself, people cannot shoot through this anymore. With that, you can sit underneath it and they can't actually do anything about you. Potentially, they could put some grenades down here, and if you're not playing as Warden, they could quite easily flashbang you or something along those lines. But you can also cover stairs from here, and if you open this up, you can quite easily just drop to cover if you need to. You are protected from that window just through there. You are protected from the new hatch because you've got this just behind you, and this ugly dude just here. But yeah, this is another place to consider sitting now that the hatch has been changed and the skylight's been changed. So this is the newest bomb site. This is the reading room and fireplace hall. This utilises the fireplace itself that was always used along with the mining room just through there. But now we're using the same bomb site, and we're also combining it with the reading room, which I think is the first time this has ever happened in a siege map. Now, by putting a reinforcement there and then treating the fireplace hall itself kind of like the kids' room on house, and just opening it all up as much as you possibly can, you can then get lines of sight into it from elsewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up all of these walls just to showcase this a little bit. Now obviously if you've got impacts and stuff like that, that's going to be beneficial to the team. And I'm going to place a mirror down onto this section that I've reinforced on the southwest of the reading room. Now with the reading room itself, the hatch has disappeared. There used to be a hatch in here that would give you a really, really good line of sight into the reading room. That has now gone. It's been removed, and quite rightly so. You do need to be careful of people taking out the roof above you, which is in the freezer, if they do know that you're here. But nevertheless, this is a potential that you could maybe try and utilise. By opening all the walls up, you can see nearly the entirety of the room, which will allow you to cover it from off-site. So as I said, like the kids' room, you can sit in here, and as and when people come in, you can just light them up. You can see onto the window. The only place that's going to be difficult is behind the bomb, but pretty much anywhere else, you may need to expose yourself a little bit, but you can utilise a mirror to lock this down. You can also do it for the white stairs. As you can see, by opening that wall up, you can cover the white stairs. But this is a potential that, whilst I haven't utilized it enough yet to see if there's like too many flaws in the plan, it's something that I think could be pretty strong in the long run. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to come in here if this was the setup, so maybe you can utilize it. One other thing to consider is the potential of using nitros just to protect that room. If there's one person gone in there, you can hear them in the smoke. They're trying to plant behind a bomb. You can go ahead and just launch a nitro in there and take them out. Now, I'm going to go in there and show you exactly where that's gone. As you'll see, it's landed just to the side of it. That's going to ruin anyone's day that's trying to utilize the one bit of cover that's in here to try and get that plant down. When it comes to drones in the pillar room or the red hallway just next to the reading room, you'll be pleased to know that this is still in game. If your stairs or both the stairs are blocked off by mute jammers, to get up to the top floor, what you can do is jump up onto this section. You can still jump up onto there if you get it right and you're not a lemon like me. Try again. And then once we're up on here, you can just jump straight up and you're up on the top floor. Now, just hiding this drone here, as you can see, you get a really good line of sight all the way back into the A-bomb site for upstairs, the cocktail lounge, or cocktail bar, whatever you want to call it. I think it's cocktail bar. Yeah, cocktail lounge. I was right the first time. But the drone will be sat over there and you get a good line of sight. Now, with the changes to drones, you do need to be careful. The yellow is going to give you away massively. It's just going to stand out like a dog's But nevertheless, this is a good way to get your drone up here. If it's mute jammed and mozzied and you can't get up here, it's something to consider. Now, as I say, it has been in the game for the longest time, but I'm pleased it's still there. When it comes to defending the top floor, this spot right here seems to be the new default plant spot. I don't know whether this is just the current meta or whether this is actually going to take hold and remain here. But at the minute, a lot of people seem to be trying to plant here. So as a result, we're going to look at a quick way to deny that. By coming downstairs, you can have a pre-placed nitro at the top of where the brown stairs used to be. There is this cabinet just here. What you can do is you can go ahead, lob a nitro just up there, and that is going to be a perfect spot to take out anyone that is trying to plant in that new, I suppose, default spot. Whether that continues to be the spot that everyone goes to, I don't know. But if you're halfway through a round and you hear that the plant is going down in that spot, you can go ahead and put a nitro there. Or alternatively, you can go ahead and pre-place it, but you do have to be careful of the double window. That one. Just for a quick point of reference, obviously you've got the default plant spot there and you've also got the other one that is just here. So playing around outside of the mining room with someone with a nitro, maybe a pulse, could be a really, really strong play and something that you could utilize. But that is going to pretty much cover both of the default plant spots from this side. You've got this one down here just behind the counter that is going to be fairly common, and also the one over here which seems to be common for anyone coming from the hatch. With that in mind, the hatch as well is a very common entry route, and people are obviously going to land just there. So that is another good spot that you could potentially use a nitro later on in the round, or if you're hunkering down here, hanging around, keeping an eye on the white stairs coming up, keeping an eye on this window, and as soon as people drop that hatch, you can go ahead and lob a nitro just at this spot here. That will also go ahead and get them. All you have to do then is just listen for the drop. As soon as you hear them drop and land, blow that up, and you will take anyone out that is dropped from the hatch. It's a nice, easy, quick kill and something you can definitely utilize. I'm afraid that's it for this video. As I said, hopefully you enjoyed this. There are several tips in here. Some of them are old, some of them have stayed from the previous iteration of the map. Some of them are new, and with so many bomb sites changing and moving around, I think it's really, really interesting to see how the meta is going to shift on this particular map. Previously, everyone went top floor every single time if they had the opportunity to, and both the train room and the fireplace hall were very, very viable. Is that still the case? I really don't know at the minute. It's going to be interesting to see, but being able to get taken out from both above and below now may really shift that meta. But whilst I do like the buff to the map itself, it's going to be interesting seeing how it all settles down, because right now everyone is used to the same old, and they're doing the same old attacks, or at least trying to, with very, very minor variations. But the play style itself doesn't seem to have changed a massive amount just yet. Hopefully it does in the near future, because I know a lot of people were getting really fed up with this map and a lot of the issues with it. And hopefully a lot of these changes have sort of resolved the problems that they had. Nevertheless, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting that thumbs up. And if you don't already, make sure to subscribe for all things Rainbow Six. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.